Everybody's sit tight. The meeting's called to order. It is 7:35. Town of Monroe Historic District Commission agenda. Regular meeting, March 2nd, 7:30. Remote electronic public meeting. This meeting may be accessed by the public in real time via GoToMeeting.com. Via GoToMeeting. Public access information set forth herein below. Notice that public access to this meeting will be limited to joining this meeting as follows: via computer, tablet, or smartphone at this link, https://global.gotomeeting.com/join/455614493, or via telephone at 1-312-757-3121, access code 455-614-493. Please refer to further information provided at the end of the agenda regarding this remote electronic meeting and the use of GoToMeeting. Written comments in compliance with the guidelines for public participation in remote electronic meetings may be submitted in up to 1 hour in advance of the meeting by electronic mail to Chuck Warner at fairfieldcountybank.com. The agenda for tonight is the approval of the minutes. We have our preliminary hearing. I'll read what that is. That's Sokoline and Lakshmana and Pittipeti, 30 Colonial Drive, enlarge the rear deck and add a deck around their above-ground pool. Public hearing, the Town of Monroe, 7 Fan Hill Road, to replace the roof on the gazebo. Treasurer's report, continuing business, and those are Monroe Center signs, Bob Giannini, 172 Old Tannery Road, disassemble a barn and rebuild it. Discussion of district boundaries, public participation. New business, there's none scheduled. Ongoing business, we have district violations, residents mailing list, and certificate appropriate in the process. And town hall archives of meeting minutes and property folders, adjournment, followed by adjournment. Information regarding this remote electronic public meeting. On March 14th of 2020, in response to COVID-19 pandemic and in an effort to reduce the risk of transmission of the virus by virtue of attending public meetings, Governor Lamont suspended the in-person open meeting requirements and permitted the conducting public meetings remotely by conference call, video conference, and or other technologies. A copy of the full text of that executive order 7B parentheses 1, close parentheses, is available for review at the Town of Monroe website at www.monroect.org. Accordingly, the Town of Monroe selected GoToMeeting as the preferred technology application to conduct these remote meetings in compliance with Executive Order 7B-1. This technology will permit up to 250 members of the public to participate in real time in the public meeting via computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone via access information set forth on this meeting agenda. It is highly recommended that any interested participant download and utilize the GoToMeeting software applications, which are available in the meeting link below prior to the commencement of the meeting. Each meeting may have unique participation information, including access code, phone number, and live link. Please be sure that you're accessing the correct information for the correct meeting. Notice is hereby given that this remote electronic public meeting shall permit the public to view and listen anonymously and, when permitted, participate in real time, be recorded and posted to the town's website within 7 days, be made available to the public within a reasonable time in town hall upon written request. In addition to the standard parliamentary procedures as outlined in this agenda, the following special rules apply to all participants. Please mute your telephone as to reduce background noise at any time you are not speaking. Prior to speaking on each occasion, each speaker will clearly state their name and title for the record. The use of chat room features are prohibited and will not be considered during the meeting if in use. A notice is hereby given that only 250 participants may access this remote electronic public meeting at any one time. Access is granted solely by GoToMeeting technology on a first access basis and is not within the control of the town of Monroe. While it is anticipated that this participation limit will be sufficient, should the participants reach said limit, the meeting may be adjourned and continued at a later date using technology appropriate to ensure that all members of the public may participate. Thank you all for enduring that. All right, the first item we have is an approval of the minutes. Unfortunately, my screen's been interrupted, but please proceed. Josh, do we have minutes?
We do. Was everybody able to get a copy, or are people still waiting for those?
I did not get a copy yet, Josh.
Yeah, I don't remember
Gary
seeing those
Thompson.
either. Well, we
I did-
didn't have a meeting in February because of technology not being in our favor. So,
All right, hang on. I'll see if I can send those back out again. Hang
it
on.
would be the January meeting. We may have done the January meeting. Gary, refresh my. Gary,
I have a copy of the January minutes from when they were emailed to Vita on February 3rd, 2021.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I do have mine.
Okay, so we're all set then. All right, so let's go on to the first item. The first item is Sopaline Sitang and Lakshmani Puttapetti on 30 Colonial Drive to expand their deck and install another one. For those of you who remember, we have approved expansion of the front porch, installation of solar panels, and installation of above ground pool. So I would yield the floor to you, to the applicant, to tell us what they'd like to do and let people ask some questions, and we'll move this along. Flax? Flax, are you there?
Yeah,
That's
Lex,
right.
we can't hear you.
What's that?
We can't hear him. I think he's trying to speak and it says he's unmuted, but
All right. I can't unmute him from here. Kat, can you undo that, please?
I think
He's
it's
showing unmuted.
maybe turn up the volume. I don't know. Still no.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, it's showing unmuted.
All right. Since this is a preliminary, we're going to do something a little out of the ordinary. I've circulated to everybody what the proposed deck layout looks like. It's going to be an expansion of the existing rear deck off the rear of the house, and then it will be supplemented by a deck that goes approximately halfway around the pool. It'll include the typical safety features that one needs, so you can't, so kids can't climb up and fall in the pool. I believe the height of the pool is 42 or 48 inches. For safety reasons, I don't think there's going to be a ladder that allows entry from any way other than from the deck. There will be a ladder on the deck. I believe you've all seen what I circulated. So it's located to the rear of the property. I've been by the house a number of times. I think everything they've done to date has been appropriate and consistent with our approvals. I don't know if Lax can hear this, but I'll be happy to answer any questions I can to the best of my ability.
He can hear you, Chuck.
Okay, he can hear me. All right. So, commission members, questions, comments? As I say, this is a preliminary, and we are going to ask you whether we can pull together a special meeting for later this month, because they'd like to get started at the beginning of April. So if we can produce an approval the week of I think it's the 23rd, I think we can all exhale, and then we might be able to skip the April meeting. But the meeting in April is, I think, April 6th. So we'd like to give them as much time to make this happen. Questions or comments?
Chuck, I have a question. The application that was submitted stated that this currently the back has a half patio and half deck replaced to be one big deck across. Also install deck half around the above ground pool.
Yes, they're going to take out the existing
You're going
patio.
to do both. Lax, could you shake your head yes if you're going to do both, right? Okay.
Yeah, Gary, the patio is where the deck is going to expand into.
And if I'm not mistaken, we talked about the extension of the deck at a previous hearing, and it was something that you were going to that you had proposed, but hadn't finalized as yet. And we said that there was no objection to it.
That's correct.
I was gonna say, I don't see any problems with what's proposed.
No, I don't either. This is,
No.
I mean, we have a very responsible homeowner here who's done everything they said they told us they were going to do, and they've done it very nicely. So, and I would remind everyone, this is not a historic house. It was built in the 1980s, and we've had a variety of people from the two subdivisions in here to correct various initial defects from initial construction. So, I think I'm comfortable with this. I guess the next question is, are the commission members willing to schedule a special meeting the week of March 23rd?
Yeah, sure, that works.
I think that works for me too.
Pull up my calendar.
It'll be Tuesday. It'll be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. The town doesn't schedule meetings typically on the first of the, on Monday or Friday.
It'll work on my end.
What was the date of that, Chuck?
It's the week of March 23rd. I think it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but
23, 24, 25.
Okay.
I have plans the 24th, but I'm good that Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay. All right, I'll see what's available. Town, because of the budget workshops will be done, town hall was pretty open that week.
Yeah, I have something on Tuesday, but any other day.
All right. Well, as I say, I don't think this is a controversial request, so as long as we have three, we'll have a quorum and can move it along.
Right. Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Comments? All right. Having heard none, we're going to move on. I'm going to ask the commission members to follow the agenda. We're having, I don't know if it's quite a preliminary hearing, but it's a preliminary discussion with Matthew Rowley, who purchased, I don't know what, a year and a half ago, purchased 150 Old Tannery Road. It's a small house. Well, it's not that small house, but it's between Wheeler Road and Monroe Turnpike. It's on the right side if you're coming toward the town hall. And when he recently replaced the roof in one portion of it because it was leaking. I approved that based on it was a like-kind exchange. And he's here for a preliminary hearing about talking about making the outbuilding more usable. So I've circulated what he sent, and Matthew or Dr. Rowley, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Sure, thank you. I'm not quite sure how all this works, but we're hoping to very much keep it as it looks right now. We have we have a lot of older wood that's in the house that we can use and incorporate into it, but we're wanting to add one dormer and a batten door and 2 windows on the side. So part of that is just functionality. The door for it is on the furthest part from our house. currently, and then also just wanting to get more light into the space as well. So I did a preliminary just editing of what that might look like.
Could you just help us? I'm looking at the pictures, and there are 4 pictures, 2 on
Yes.
the left and 2 on the right. If you could walk us through those, it looks like this has one of those second floor doors that were apparently common in the 1800s, with
Yes.
because there was so much snowfall that people had to exit through the second floor because they couldn't get out through the first. I'm presuming that's why.
I'm not sure what that is. It's not a door in its current form. I don't know if it was originally a door, but it's 2 separate things. There's a window, and then there's a something else that comes in and out on its own. But there's a beam in between. There's a beam in between it, which makes me think it's not a door.
Oh, it looks like a door. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies for the conjecture.
Was there a loft there?
There is, yeah, there's 2 floors to the barn.
Okay, that's what that is. That's an entry for slinging material up into the loft, probably
Okay.
hay. And if this barn looks like it's big enough, it would have accepted at least 1 horse.
Okay.
Okay.
You're,
Well,
It looks beautiful. Pictures were beautiful.
it looks like it needs some updating, so this would certainly be a welcome addition to the historic district.
Yes.
You're going to put the
Yeah, I
dormer
agree.
on which? The dormer is going to be facing the house or facing away from the house?
The dormer will be facing away from the house.
Okay. So it won't be visible from the road.
Because we're on a corner lot, it would be visible not from the historic schoolhouse side, but it would be visible if you're coming down Old Tannery. You would be able to see that.
All right. Am I correct in remembering this is the house with the shutters on it, or is this the one right on the corner?
This is right on the corner. I believe the Historic Society used to own it.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought it was the house next to it, the one
Okay.
that they restored the shutters to. Okay. That makes more sense that this is more visible. Are you going to reside this? It looks like the siding is a bit weathered.
Yes. Yeah, I'm planning. So right after we moved in, we just moved in the end of May, and I replaced part of the roof because it was starting to rot the beams below. So I basically stopped most of the water from coming in immediately, and then over the winter I've been pulling up the boards and replacing different beams because a lot of them were completely disintegrated. So yeah.
This is Gary Thompson. Matt, I have a question on the top left picture. That's as
Yes.
it currently exists.
That's as it currently exists. Yes.
Okay. Your house was built in 1790. I presume that this barn was probably around that same time. The windows that are in there look like they're 8/12.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know whether or not those were original windows?
I don't know. I know that there's a possibility that the ones on the second floor are. The ones that are on the first floor seem to be newer.
Okay. All right. The ones on the top, or I mean on the bottom left, that's a 12 pane window.
Those ones are 8/12. All of them on the first floor are 8/12s.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It's I asked to make comment on that because 8/12 is not entirely common, but it's not also
Yes.
it's not uncommon
Mhm.
in that period. On the upper right hand, you show a dormer that is inverted V shape.
Yes.
In that, just a suggestion for consideration, in that period of time, the dormers that were used were box type dormers as opposed to the inverted shape, the inverted V.
Okay.
Just like the dormer that's on your house.
Okay. Yep.
You might toy with the idea, putting a box dormer there just to see what it looks like. You know,
Okay.
on your, however you superimpose this.
Yeah.
Good artistry. But I think you might even get more light that way.
Okay.
Good comments, Gary. Thank you.
And the I'm assuming that in the back on the right hand side bottom, in the back of the barn, you're putting new windows in.
Yes, but I would be looking for older windows to put in that would match the style.
And not having any other reference, you're probably better off copying what was already there using 8/12.
Yes.
I can't think of any other. This looks good. The door placement of the door looks very good. If Ed Coffey was here, he probably would have a question or two on the windows, and he knows windows better than I do. But like I said, 8/12 is not all that common back then. But then again, a lot of things were done in that period in this area that were not common.
As I recall from some of Ed's comments, 12/12 were the initial ones that were the most common because of the smaller glass size, and then eventually it evolved to 8/8 and 6/6. This possibly could be a transitional style.
That's my thinking too.
Yeah, because the windows look differently sized, top and bottom. It almost looks like the top windows are smaller and the bottom ones are larger in terms of surface area.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are. I haven't actually measured them.
See,
there were some things I was trying to date the structure, and there are some things that make me think that it's a bit later of a barn, possibly the 1860s. So I'm not sure if that would change things with it. I know on my when we purchased the house, they said they didn't know exactly the dating of it, but there are things like no central beam going down the roof line, which apparently that was something that you know, up until the 1850s, 1860s, that would be a standard thing in construction. And so I don't have a central beam. I don't know if that would change things if I tried to lift up too many of those beams, doing a box type thing, if that would weaken the structure. But
well, we're going to have a preliminary hearing, so we certainly have time. You certainly have time to flesh that out and decide.
It's worth investigating. Looks nice though.
thank you.
So,
Yes.
Matthew or Dr. Raleigh, as it's appropriate, there's no center beam carrying the rafters?
There isn't. Yeah, that was why I thought of doing the inverted V, because it would only require lifting up one of the central, or one of the rafters on it.
Well, it might make sense after all these years to put a center beam in and then box the dormer. I mean, it's just something to look at with your contractor.
Yeah.
Because I think Gary's right that you would get more light with the box dormer. And are the commission members receptive if you wanted to have two windows up there?
Okay.
Does anyone disagree with that?
I think either way looks good.
Okay.
Yeah.
No disagreement.
What's your timing on this? I mean, we're going to be scheduling a public hearing for Lax's application for the week of the 23rd. We're going to try to. Are you ready to go for something like that, or do you want to come to a subsequent meeting?
Yeah, I would be happy to go with something at that time.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask. I presume everyone is all right with us adding this by unanimous consent. I know I let everybody know that it was coming, so and I didn't hear any objections. So speak now or forever hold your peace.
I think it was fine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. So we're going to aim for the week of the 23rd for those two applications for public hearings. So now we're on to the public hearing, and this is the public hearing for the town of Monroe that was scheduled for February. And I got to find a copy of the notice to read. All right. Well, unfortunately, I don't have the notice here in front of me, but we did publish a notice on the 17th of February in the invoices for this preliminary hearing. Matter of fact, I can probably get it. So let me just wait a minute. I looked in my computer case. I didn't see it, so just bear with me a second.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Oh, I'm here. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm here.
We can now.
Chris, I just have to read the public notice. So just give me a
Okay,
second.
no, I called it from the phone, so.
Better late than never, right?
I thought I had printed it out.
Hey, I have to leave the meeting. I'll see if I can reconnect later.
Okay, well, we should be done fairly soon.
Okay.
All right, so we've got the March meeting. All right, here we go. All right, this is Historic District Commission, Monroe, Connecticut. Notice of public hearing. The Monroe Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing at a remote regular meeting on Tuesday, March 2nd at 7:30 p.m. regarding the following application for certificate of appropriateness. Town of Monroe, 7 Fan Hill Road, replace the roof on the gazebo, wood to asphalt, dated this 11th day of February 2021 by Chuck Warner, chairperson. And it goes on to say that this was published on February 17th in Voices. And Chris, you have the floor. So I think we've all remember the initial discussion on this, that over the years, the roof on the gazebo has deteriorated, and apparently there may be some structural damage underneath, at least at the sheathing. And what they wish to do is replace the existing cedar shingles with asphalt shingles, which ordinarily that's not something we're heavily in favor of. It will cause the gazebo to reflect the same style of shingles as appear on the town hall and on the library. Chris, you're on.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Chris Nowacki, Director of Public Works here. And thank you, Chuck. Yes, that's exactly it. The scope of work that we're looking to do is to remove the existing shingle roof and open up the sheathing and look into the structure, which at the moment we're not seeing sign of, which is to benefit everybody here, but we do need to go down to the sheathing and check the structure out. We do have some heavily deteriorated trim around the pinnacle, or if you will, or the crown of the gazebo itself. But we do intend on coming back with a matching shingle, which is a Timberline Williamsburg slate asphalt shingle that is a duplicate match to the library and the town hall. So in the visual aspect of it, it'll be a complete match across the property. Excuse me, and the town hall campus as a whole. We are looking to, as we said, change out for the shingles. We're going to power wash and clean and repaint all the paintable surfaces. And throughout that process too, we are going to address the steps that lead up. We know we currently have one loose bluestone step, so we're going to address that as we go through. Take a look at the existing pointing on the brick surround and change out the light bulbs within the unit to an LED fixture. We did have a discussion of, the warm versus the bright white. We have to just see within the two different choices which one fits more uniform with the existing light poles that are around it, which, to be clear, those are not being changed. We're just focusing on the gazebo itself. And then aside from completing those aspects with the gazebo itself, we then intend on doing some repair work to the existing brick walkway around with some edging and some topsoil and seed and hay, just to reestablish a little bit of erosion on the back side or west side of the walkway itself, which will involve a little bit of yep, go on.
I was going to say, so the only change versus what is there is that you're going to go from a cedar shingle roof to an asphalt shingle roof to create an even, a consistent look throughout the entire town hall campus. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct, yes.
And any replacement of fascia boards or anything else will be like-kind exchange. So if you take off a fascia board and replace it, you'll replace it with a like-kind fascia board.
Correct. We're looking at AZAC as the material, just to kind of take advantage of the technology that we have, which is a true color all the way through. But yes, like in kind replacement. Correct.
So we won't see flaking paint and deteriorating wood.
Correct. When we get into it, we're going to have to make the determination as to to what percentage are we replacing versus just looking at a total replacement, just to maintain the continuity. But it would all be like in kind, yes. Okay.
So does everyone understand? Everyone's clear on this, that the changes are literally going to be the change, the type of shingles that's being used. I know an issue was raised in January when I wasn't feeling well, that about the color of the dome on this. And my understanding is the dome itself is not being altered in any way, but it is going to be repainted to be consistent with the town hall. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, it's a Notre Dame gold, which were provided in some of the examples, one being an aerial shot over the existing cupola of the town hall. It's a little tough by the color and the imagery, but that's it will be similar to what's on the town hall currently.
I would note that I believe the Edmonton Town Hall in Newtown is also painted that color. That seems to be a popular color in historic areas. But there won't be any change to the cupola itself.
Correct. No, restoring it for its existing design.
Okay. Questions from the other members of the commission?
Chris, and this is Aaron. How often are those lights on? Is the interior lit all night? I've never really noticed. More of a curiosity. Typically those lights are really used more for ceremonial type of events, because you do get quite a bit of cast off of the 4 light poles surrounding, depending on when we put the flags up through the summer months, if you will, it does kind of give a nice little ambiance, kind of like downward light
to kind of backlight the flags that are there, but you do get plenty of light from the 4 light poles around it. It depends on what kind of functions happen there. If they utilize the gazebo for, you know, an evening function, those lights do go on. They're not on a photo cell per se. They're by switch.
No.
Perfect. I have no problems with
Chris,
the other parts brought up tonight. So.
Thank you. Yes, Chuck?
Chris, just clarify that the lights themselves are recessed up so everything shines down. It doesn't shine out, correct?
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. Any existing exterior fixtures are remaining the same. We're only focusing on the recessed can lights within the ceiling of the gazebo itself. And the ceiling of the gazebo is staying the same. We're not doing anything to that or anything.
All right. Other questions or comments?
You're Gary Thompson. You're not changing the recessed lights. You're just changing the type of bulb that you're using, the type of illuminant that you're using, or
Correct.
are you changing the fixture too?
We're currently where the focus is to change just the bulbs itself. Should we have the availability within the proposal based on the amount of replacement and total repair, we will look at the potential to replace those fixtures within. But right now, the main scope is to just replace the bulbs at current. It may be something we can do at a later date.
Okay.
But the fixtures are not going to be visible except
correct.
from actually inside. Okay.
Absolutely correct.
Right. Other questions? Comments?
No, just Chris, this is Karen Woodford. We were talking about that walkway and the little park bench. Did you discover anything about that? The little bench that was supposed to be up by the Masonic temple?
I did speak with the town engineer on that from the last meeting, and he's still looking back into that. I actually reiterated it again today with him, and I'll have to circle back to Chuck with respect to, you said there was some stamped concrete as well, right? If I remember correctly.
It was supposed to look like brick, and it was supposed to be wandering through with a little bench and everything. It never happened. So I was just wondering, possibly.
I didn't get his final answer on that, but I will circle back with him.
Okay.
And again, just to clarify, this is the walkway along the if you will call it the northern side of the Masonic Lodge or southern section of the parking lot there.
Yes.
Part of the DOT project.
That's correct. Thanks.
Yep.
Questions or comments?
I was confused when I didn't hear. I was a little confused when I didn't hear anything about the gold. I was like, I remember there being something with gold to match the town hall, but then it came up. So, thank you.
And technically, we don't have jurisdiction over color, but I think under the realm of consistency, we can make strong suggestions. And I'm satisfied with what the town's proposing. If there are no further comments, I'm going to entertain a motion on this application.
I'd make a motion. This is Aaron McGoldick to approve the town's proposal.
As submitted?
As submitted.
All right.
I'll second.
All right, Gary's second. All right. There are four full members of the commission, and since Josh has checked out, Barbara, you're going to be voting in this. So
yes.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Let the record reflect this is passed 5-0 with no negative comments. All right, you're all set, Chris. Send me your certificate of appropriateness and I'll sign it.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Chris.
That's all.
Thank you.
All right, and let's on to the next item. Next item we have is the treasurer's report.
Okay. The February balance available was $268.64. Less the public hearing notice, that is, the invoice is pending for $32.12. Our balance available today then is $236.52.
Okay, that should carry us to the end of the year. Thank you,
And that
Gary.
should carry us through the end of the year.
Yep. All right, and we're going to have another charge for the public hearings the week of the 23rd, which I will get on tomorrow. Does anyone want to talk about signs? Gary, is there any update on?
No, Chris is doing a very good job making sure that no one is knocking them down.
Okay. All right. Is there an update on Bob Giannini, or as we get into spring?
No, and that's my fault. I haven't had the opportunity to get back to him. I will this month get back to him and advise everyone by email what the situation is in his planning.
Well, with 1.5 feet of snow on the ground during the month, I can imagine he hasn't made a ton of progress. So, okay.
I'm sorry?
I said with all the snow on the ground, he probably hasn't made a lot of progress.
Probably not, but he has a lot of paperwork to do.
Okay. All right. So anything further? We've pretty much settled the district boundaries. Are there any questions about that? Thank you, Gary, for all your hard work on that.
The only thing that remains open on that, Chuck, is that acquiring a new map. I don't think that's been done yet.
Okay. And who is heading that up?
I'll get a hold of Barbara, and she can check the progress of that with the tax assessor.
Okay, good. All right. Anything
That's
further
good.
for the good of the order? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barbara.
No, I was saying, yeah, fine. That's totally fine. Just let me know.
Oh, she's on.
I'm on, yes.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, Barbara, can you check with him and see if he has started the work on the new map based on the changes that he made?
Yep, hang on. Let me grab a piece of paper real quick here. Okay, so I'm going to ask Justin about the map. It's a map?
It is the new district map, because the change of the changes that we had him make. He has to get the town engineering department to make the changes to the district map on file, and he's the only one that can do that, and have them produce a new map, and then he can distribute it.
That's just for the historic district?
Just for the historic district, yes.
Okay.
And if someone asks for the brochure on the historic district, we would give them both the brochure and the copy of the corrected map.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I'll have a talk with Justin tomorrow. Have you requested that he work on this?
Some months ago.
Oh, okay. I wanted to know if he'd already been asked to do this.
It was quite a few months ago.
Okay.
And it might be one of these things where it slipped away on him, and he's forgotten about it.
They were busy with all the people, wanting to complain about their taxes and whatnot. So I'll see if he's caught up.
All right. Anything further, folks? All right. Well, I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 8:20, and I'll get back to you about once we have a date for the two public hearings. Thank you all. I appreciate your time and your dedication on it. And
Chuck,
have a good night.
Chuck, I have the meeting opening at 7:34.
Okay, I had 7:35.